When Daniel first brought it up, I laughed. Not the playful kind, but the sharp, defensive kind meant to cut the conversation short. Seriously? I'd scoff, shaking my head. You think I'm jealous of Ethan? He's my best friend, Daniel. Don't be ridiculous. His jaw tensed, but he didn't argue. He just gave me the slow, quiet nod, the kind that says everything someone's too tired to speak aloud. Then came the silence, the heavy kind that sits on your chest and lingers. Later that night, I vented to my sister, rolling my eyes as I told her, Daniel's being insecure again. He thinks Ethan's some sort of threat. She nodded right along, and that tiny bit of agreement felt like validation, like permission to dismiss him. It made it easy to convince myself I was right. Ethan had always been around, after all. He was the person I turned to when things went wrong, after bad breakups, tough work days, or lonely nights. Even in those early, uncertain months with Daniel, when everything was fragile and new, Ethan had been my comfort zone, my safe place. I never stopped to think how it might look. Ethan texted me constantly, and I always replied right away. Even when Daniel and I were out to dinner, I'd answer. I'd laugh at Ethan's jokes while Daniel sat across from me in silence, a fork suspended halfway to his mouth, pretending not to notice. Ethan and I had our own language. Private jokes, familiar looks, hugs that lingered a little too long. They always faded the moment Daniel walked into the room, but I told myself it was harmless, friendly. Deep down, I knew better. A few weeks later, Daniel brought up again. His voice was calm, steady, his eyes searching mine. Sophie, he said quietly, it feels like you're giving parts of yourself to Ethan that belong to us. I rolled my eyes so hard it almost hurt. You're overreacting. I snapped. He's just a friend. Stop trying to control me. That's when I saw it. Something flicker across his face. Not anger, not sadness, something breaking. I mistook his silence for surrender. I thought I'd won. I didn't realize what I'd actually lost in that moment. The changes started small. So subtle, I barely noticed at first. He stopped asking where I was going. Stopped waiting up when I came home late. The man who used to notice everything, a new dress, a change in perfume, a shift in mood, now seemed distant, detached. I told myself it was good, that he was finally relaxing and giving me space. But it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like the walls had gone hollow. Meanwhile, Ethan was still there, calling, texting, always ready to listen, and I leaned into it, almost out of spite. If Daniel didn't care, why should I? I laughed louder, stayed out later, shared more than I should have. But the more I poured into Ethan, the colder my home became. Dinner turned to silence. Nights ended with Daniel turned away, the space between us widening with every breath. Then came that Friday night. I came home late again, dropped my keys onto the counter, and froze. Daniel was sitting in the living room, a suitcase beside him. Daniel, I said, my voice cracking, what were you doing? He looked up at me, not angry, not even hurt, just calm, empty. I can't do this anymore, he said evenly. I told you how I felt. I won't keep begging for respect in my own marriage. Panic surged through me. Wait, you're leaving me over Ethan? Seriously. He shook his head. It's not about Ethan. It's about you. You pushed me out of my own marriage. I've been a stranger here for months. I'm done. The room tilted around me. My voice came out trembling. Please, Daniel, don't go. I'll stop seeing him. I'll change. I swear I'll fix this. He stood, gently pulled his hand from mine and said softly, I gave you so many chances, Sophie. I begged you to see me, to see us. But you only saw a jealous man. Now I finally see myself. I deserve better than being an afterthought. And just like that, he lifted the suitcase and walked out. The silence that followed was unbearable. I sank onto the couch, my mind spinning through every moment. Every time I laughed at him, rolled my eyes, brushed off his pain. Every time I'd chosen someone else's attention over his love. My phone buzzed on the table. Ethan again. I didn't even look. For the first time, his words meant nothing. I'd spent so long believing Daniel would never leave, that his love was unshakable. But love has limits, and I'd crossed them, one careless laugh, one thoughtless word at a time. By the time I finally understood, it was too late. The man I once called overprotective, even possessive, had only ever wanted me to see him, to choose him, and I never did. Now, in the quiet he left behind, I finally understood the cruelest truth of all. The man I thought would never leave was the only one who truly loved me.